More on Amitabha's unshakable resolve. So we're on 43, right? If I should attain Buddhahood, all the multitudes of bodhisattvas in lands of other directions who hear my name would be reborn in noble families after the end of their lives. If this should not be the case, may I not attain perfect awakening. Okay, so here, all the bodhisattvas, again, in lands of other directions, so he's not just doing things for his own bodhisattvas. Okay, it's not like, these are my bodhisattvas, and you're other bodhisattvas, so I'm not going to help you, and don't you interfere with my bodhisattvas, they're mine. Yeah, so there's none of this possessiveness about students and so on. And so these bodhisattvas hear Amitabha's name, and then, they should be born in noble families. Okay, so noble families can have two meanings. In our ordinary way, it means an upper class family, a higher status family. So for people who are concerned with social status, they're going to like this one, okay? And they're going to say, oh, I'm going to get to be born in a higher class family, and be respected. So remember, those are the ones who probably will like the clothing and the palaces, But actually what noble means is an Arya, okay? So that's why we say the Four Noble Truths. Actually, the truths are not noble. There's nothing noble about dukkha and its origin. Those are things that are seen as noble by the Aryas. Okay, so here it's promising rebirth in a noble family, which means that you are a bodhisattva, because family here can also refer to your lineage. Okay, but here, there are already bodhisattvas guaranteed to be born in the family of bodhisattvas. My guess is it might mean that they're bumped up a level of bodhisattva, that due to their practice and their merit and wisdom and so on, that if they were like path of accumulation, then they'll be born with path of preparation, that maybe that transition would happen there. Okay, that's my guess. Okay, 44. If I should attain Buddhahood, all the multitudes of bodhisattvas in lands of other directions who hear my name would be joyful and enthusiastic, cultivate the bodhisattva practices, and be replete with roots of virtue. If this should not be the case, may I not attain perfect awakening. Okay, so this one, like the last one, was a little bit puzzling because they're already bodhisattvas, but I think it would mean being born as an Arya bodhisattva if you were a lower bodhisattva. And so here, it's saying that all those bodhisattvas who hear Amitabha's name would be joyful, enthusiastic, and cultivate the bodhisattva practices and be replete with roots of virtue. Well, we would assume that most bodhisattvas are like that already. Yeah. However, it could be here because it's really emphasizing being joyful and enthusiastic, and with that kind of mind, cultivating the bodhisattva practices. It could mean going from, let's say, the third bhumi, where fortitude is the practice that you bring to perfection, to the fourth bhumi, which is where you bring joyous effort to perfection. So it could mean something like that. Otherwise, I think most of these bodhisattvas already have enthusiasm. They're doing the bodhisattva's practice and everything. But so it must mean some level of increasing their joyous effort and abandoning laziness, and some measure of increasing how they do their bodhisattva practices, maybe their meditation on dependent arising and emptiness in terms of agent, action, and object deepens. So something along that line. Okay. So, it's helpful to remember because, we say, well, all the bodhisattvas, they're not lazy anyway. How do you get to be a bodhisattva by being lazy? But again, there's degrees of laziness and degrees of joyous effort. And so it's a whole spectrum that we have to go through. Okay? Just as we know right now, we all have some laziness and we all have some joyous effort. Yeah. And there's a degree, to which we're always trying to increase it. Yeah. Now, some people, when they hear increase your joyous effort, they think, oh, God, I'm already putting forth so much effort. What do they want from me? This is just too hard. And so they don't have the right idea of joyous effort. They're thinking of, sadistic torture or something. It's like when you're doing your training and somebody asks you to do something or somebody gives you some instruction and your gut reaction is, you're bossing me around, leave me alone. Actually that person's trying to help and they're trying to benefit, but we see the thing in the completely opposite way. So it's a similar thing here, kind of, you get some encouragement to abandon laziness and adopt more joyous effort. And instead of thinking joyous effort, gee, I'll be more joyous because my laziness is really keeping me down. Because remember the laziness of discouragement, that one is like, I can't do it. We don't see that is something that's keeping us down. And the joyous effort, we'd be a whole lot happier if we have it. So we completely misinterpret the whole thing and think joyous effort is like, oh, I got to do what I have to do because, and that's not it at all. Okay, so it's similar to how people see precepts and guidelines. Precepts and monastic guidelines are there to help us, to train us. They're for community harmony, but we see them as rules, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and so-and-so gets to do it, and I don't. How come? The rule says this, So again, complete misunderstanding of what's really going on with precepts and guidelines and rules, So this is something I think we all have to work with because we all come into the Dharma with all of our baggage, from how we used to relate to things. And so some of us come in with the baggage of, I got to be joyously effortful. And others come in with the baggage of, precepts, it's all these rules you can't do and you can't do that, but they get to do it. And how come I don't, So we all come in with our issues. And so part of our training is to realize what is our issue, what's coming from us and change our mind so that we make our mind in accord with the right view. Yeah. Otherwise, we're totally miserable, aren't we? We're totally miserable. It's like joyous effort, you're pushing me, you expect too much of me. Is that a happy mind? Yeah. Or, guidelines. Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. Why do I have to do it? Is that a happy mind? It's a miserable mind, isn't it? So it's our own misconceptions that make the mind miserable. Yeah. If we have a proper outlook, it's like, oh, guidelines and precepts help me. Joyous effort helps me. I'm going to be happier. Yeah, tomorrow, mañana. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think these bodhisattvas have that kind of problem, but they're still working on it. You got to develop it gradually. Okay. Then 45, if I should attain Buddhahood, all the multitudes of bodhisattvas in lands of other directions who hear my name would fully attain the samadhi of universal equality. They would abide in this samadhi until they attain Buddhahood, and they would always see all the immeasurable, inconceivable Buddhas. If this should not be the case, may I not attain perfect awakening. Imagine what it would be like to see all the immeasurable, inconceivable Buddhas. I don't think that means seeing them with your eyes, but even if it meant seeing them with your eyes, wouldn't that blow you away? Yeah? I mean, just seeing one Buddha as they really are would be overpowering. Yeah? And if we were to be able to see a Buddha's mind as it really is, I mean, then we would have the same level of realization, but that would be quite amazing too. Okay, so these bodhisattvas will attain the samadhi of universal equality. So I think this must be a samadhi on emptiness. Whenever we hear equality, equanimity, impartiality, like when it comes in our dedication verses after a meal, it refers to the fact that everything is equal, in emptiness. In other words, everything is empty of inherent existence. Everything is equal in being empty, and so to see everything like that, everything has the same mode of existence. So when we talk about the equality of samsara and nirvana, this is what it means, that both samsara and nirvana are empty of inherent existence. It does not mean samsara and nirvana are equal in a conventional way. They're quite different. They're opposite. We want to get out of samsara and attain nirvana. Okay, but in terms of being empty of inherent existence, their ultimate mode of existence is the same. It's equal. So bodhisattvas have that kind of attainment. Just want to check that I didn't. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we'll stop here. Then we only have 3 more to talk about, The rest we have, then we have to go through and create the causes. We have to help Amitabha by creating the causes so that his unshakable resolves come true, because he can't make them, happen without our cooperation. Yeah. It's just like, the Buddhas can help lead us, but we have to practice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like some of us were talking yesterday. You can help a drug addict, but they have to want to, get clean, and they have to exert some effort too. So we're kind of like the drug addicts, we're addicted to ignorance, anger, and attachment, so we need to make some effort ourselves. Yeah. Otherwise, if it were different, then, we just pray Buddha, 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 and, have chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream, and let the Buddha do all the work. Yeah, and if that were the case, the Buddha would have done it already. There's no reason, if a Buddha can, control things, if a Buddha were omnipotent, there's no reason that they would keep us in samsara. Okay, but they aren't omnipotent. We have to do our share.